All right, let's rock and roll.
Let's go. What is up?
Boom! There we go.
Suckalaka.
Hey, good morning to you, Jared.
Yes.
What time is it there?
It's 6:07 a.m. So
All right. I guess it's not the butt crack of dawn, but you're waking up early for this one, baby.
That's right. Good morning.
I've been looking forward to this for like a long time. And, we've been envisioning actually doing this interview for the longest time. And so like a couple of weeks ago, we hit Aui Batalaran up and we said, hey, would you like to do this? He raised his hand, actually. Let me correct myself. He raised his hand and said, let me be interviewed by Double Trouble, right? So this is going to be one of the first in a series of interviews of Double Trouble. This is exciting. We had an interview I'm going to say last night or yesterday with Michael Lamphere.
That's fantastic.
I know, for a guy who claimed to be shy and a guy who said he, didn't have anything but a radio face. This guy was pretty loquacious and talkative, man.
Oh yeah, he's got a voice, man. I was super impressed. I mean,
what a story!
Yeah, great story.
Now, I started this journey on affiliate marketing in September 2022. My wheels, Jared, were spinning in place, right? And it was around 1 December, maybe the last day of November, I met Aui Batalaran, our mentor, right? And everything changed. As a matter of fact, in 10 days' time, I had 2 sales, right? So this is a guy who's brought clarity to the game. This is a guy who changed everything for me. This is a guy who's probably done the same for you.
Oh, absolutely. Instrumental. Great influence and totally giving us guidance, direction, and just a calming sort of effect.
Exactly. So we're going to hear his story. And isn't this is going to be something I've been wanting to ask these questions. And we're going to pepper him, just boom, boom. I hope he's ready.
Well, if he's not ready, then let's be honest. Who can be ready for Double Trouble, right?
I don't know, man. I have no idea.
Of course,
we're about to see.
Our English teacher in high school wasn't ready for Double Trouble.
Hell no! All right, so without further ado, let's bring our special guest on, shall we?
Let's do this.
Boom! What's up?
Boom!
I have to say, very super entertaining watching you guys always, man. You guys are just great entertainer. Those little details just makes it feel, even I feel excited while we're waiting backstage. Awesome work, guys.
Thanks. Well, this is truly an honor. This is something I've been looking forward to, for a long time. So welcome to Double Trouble.
Yeah.
Double trouble.
Boom!
So
I didn't have any fireworks. I'm sorry. No
yeah,
fireworks.
yeah, they usually come straight from his fingers. It didn't happen this time.
No.
Now, so you hold down a 9-to-5 corporate job, and for 6 years, Howie, you were struggling in affiliate marketing until you hit the grandiose. So perhaps, please, you could walk us back to when you first started affiliate marketing, how you got interested in affiliate marketing, and through that 6 years of struggle, up until the point where you saw clarity and decided that you would be able to be a mentor, not only to us, but to many.
Yeah, sure. So this is my 14th year in the corporate ladder. And in 2017, I think it was my 9th year in the corporate game. I lost my
Okay.
job the first time. Okay. And it was the first time that I ever lost my job, guys, because it was always so stable. I believe that that was the only way to achieve financial and time freedom, by keep on climbing those ranks. And I busted my butt at every single level. So I became like the youngest at every single role that I took, managed to move across multiple countries. And then one day, my CEO came to me, while I was still busting my butt, and say, Alwi, listen, you did a great job, but I'm sorry, but we have to let you go. Tomorrow's your last day. I was like, are you kidding
So
me?
after all that hard work and making
Yeah.
such a reputation and good name for yourself, you became
Correct.
redundant.
Correct. Redundant. Exactly. So just imagine 6 years in the same company. I moved to 2 countries while I was in there. And just like that, I was like, what the heck happened? I thought I was going to,
Wow.
stay in company loyalty and all of that jazz.
Mhm.
And at the time, I was still, I think, 29, 30 years old. So I thought,
Okay.
well, it's the first time it happened to me. I can get a job just like that, right? I'm like,
Your experience and your
something,
young age.
yeah, like I didn't think of how difficult it would have been, but it honestly took me, like, the first month was okay. They gave me like 2 months severance pay. Second month
Okay.
came, I was living paycheck to paycheck. Third month came, I was like, oh, guys, running out of funds here.
Yeah,
No one
it
can
getting
help me.
scary. Yeah.
Yeah, fourth month, I was like not even answering my phone anymore, because at the time I just bought a house, credit card bills. Everybody was calling me and saying, "Hey, listen, you're 2 months past due, 3 months past due." I was like, "Oh my god!"
Oh my gosh.
Fifth month came, I was so thin, I almost had nothing left. Sixth month was crazy, guys. Like I was
Uh-huh.
this is just insane, and I did everything that everyone would, right? Prepare resumes every day.
Wow.
Every day I
Uh-huh.
was submitting for applications, and I think I only finally got a job on the 7th month. And when I finally did get a job on the 7th month, I was just
Okay.
calculating like all these loans that I haven't paid in that 6 months, and calculated my pay at the time. I think I calculated something like, oh my gosh, even till today, it's gonna take me more than a year just to recover from all the bills that I couldn't pay while I was jobless. Right. So that's the first time that it occurred to me, like, oh, forget
So
about climbing the corporate ladder. I gotta do something else. Yeah.
so at that point, then when you got that job after reaching the 7th month of being unemployed, the light turned on that you needed to create a secondary source of income.
Yeah, in the process, I already knew I had to, I think by month 2 or month 3. But the problem was I was running really low on funds. And I also knew, like, if you were to start a business, you do need some capital, right? Because at that point,
Yes.
like,
Right.
every single dollar count, right? So I couldn't invest in a program or anything, but I just knew, like, okay, I definitely have to do it. I just can't do it yet. But I started to research anyways, right? Like most
Mhm.
people would. And by the time that I actually got my job, and I was like, okay, great. Now it's gonna take me more than a year to pay all the bills. This is the time that I used to slowly start trying and testing out almost every single business model in that process.
I mean, that's pretty stressful. We've all been there before, Jared and I, like being unemployed and having to look for a job. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, for like period in 2012, I was unemployed for X amount of months before I got the job to come back to Raytheon and come over here where I am, right?
Mm.
Um, that's stressful, especially when
Super
you know there are
stressful.
bills to be paid.
Yeah. And in my position, not many people know, but I was like, there's a lot of us in my family, siblings wise, but I was the one who was doing the most or the best out of all, and I was supporting my family. So that's why when I got into this position, I knew nobody could help me, nobody, because I couldn't ask my
Right.
parents or my
Uh-huh.
siblings. So you can imagine the kind of pressure, right? It's like when everyone needs help, they can reach out to me. But when I need help, there's no one. Literally, until today, there's no one that I can go to unless it's like friends or something like this, right? Which I also try to avoid because I last thing I want to do is like borrow money and stuff
Right.
from people. So I really
Mhm.
avoided it until the last resort. I eventually did had to. By the time I got a job, I did ask my best friend to kind of help me out because the banks, like in Malaysia, after you don't pay the loans for like 3 months, 4 months, they have the right to increase your loan percentage by 1%, and that one
Oh,
percent sounds
really?
small. Yeah,
No,
and
it's
it
a lot
increased.
when you already owe something.
Correct. Yeah. So that's the only time I did, but I paid him off the moment I got paid. I like secured it first. Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. When I had that, that's the realization that what my elders has been telling me, right? I couldn't understand. Like some of my uncles and family would say, "Listen, you're young right now. It's easy for you to earn money, so it's easy for you to spend money. But if there's one thing that they could do, it's like not to spend as much." So that's when it really hit me. Is realized that, oh gosh, yes, I've been burning money all this time because
Well,
the
and I
way
think
that
we all
society
do that
told
at a
us.
young
Yeah.
age when we first get these nice jobs, and we're getting a good salary or money coming in.
Yeah.
So that then we realize, we learn that, oh my gosh, we need to make a budget, not only for now but for the
Yeah.
future. Put savings away, and that's hard to do. Even most people are living paycheck to paycheck all over the world. So if there's one thing that if ever we can learn from each other here, in this circle of friends that we're in, is, hey, we need to create a budget and live by that budget. Put savings away for another rainy day, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So then,
There's Siddharth.
all right, so Darth Pani, there we go. Yeah, I want to welcome everyone tuning in. We got a lot of people just pouring in
Yeah,
with
Darren
comments
K,
always.
Manuel,
Really appreciate the
Nina,
support.
Tasbarul.
I mean, Nina Jensen, she's tuning in there from Utah.
Yeah, she's from my neck of the woods. Yeah, she
Right
lives in,
next to Utah Lake.
yeah, over by Utah Lake. Yeah.
Appreciate the support, Nina.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's amazing.
All right. So then, when you first started looking at some of these different things online to make money, which ones were the first ones that you ideally looked at?
I the earliest one that I can recall was drop shipping. Because like like most people with this, TikTok wasn't a thing back then, so it was on
Right.
YouTube, and this guy was like, "Oh, this is how you can make your first sale within the first 24 hours." I watched it, I looked at it, I said, "It sounds pretty realistic."
With,
So
within
I
the
got
first
into it.
24 hours, huh?
Within the first 24 hours. I didn't get it in the first 24 hours, but maybe in like 4 days to a week, I got one sale, and that sale was 11.99. And what I was selling is kind of funny because I still see people trying to sell it. It was a wireless charger. That's it.
Those were high in demand when they first came out,
Yeah, it was like, whoa, there's no cables, you literally just drop the phone. But it wasn't profitable, but that's when I knew, like, oh my gosh, okay, it's a lot of hard work. It actually worked, although I wasn't profitable, so there must be something here, right?
So with drop shipping, I mean, do you have to worry about shipping the product yourself like some of these Amazon
Yeah.
merchants do?
Yeah, so basically drop shipping is essentially you don't need to buy the product until someone actually buys it from you. but your job is to kind of market it, create a demand for it for people to buy. So when someone buys it from me, that's when the order gets placed and sent to the supplier. Then the supplier will handle all of that stuff and send it to that user. Yeah, it sounds like a really nice business model, but when you're doing it like selling one is okay, but when you do it at scale, it's quite crazy. Yeah.
Right. I can imagine how
It'd be complex.
stretched out thin you may feel if you had a lot of sales, though. I mean,
Correct. So actually, what happened was I tried it, and I think for a week or two, and I was like, well, I can make a sale, but I just can't seem to even break even. I was still losing money, and here I was, first time trying to be an entrepreneur, right? Wasted so much. I spent more time than my day job, to be honest, and I was still losing money. I was like, you know what, this is a scam.
this is trial and error, though. I mean, we always have to learn from
Yeah.
our mistakes, right? And and you always have had such a good mental outlook on things, man. Has that always been the case, or did you sometimes, like through that 7-month stretch where you were unemployed, or when you were struggling, the 6-year period, were there times where you literally were frustrated beyond belief? Because I always see you smiling, and I always see you with such a good outlook.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, honestly, guys, like when I was a teenager, I didn't think I'll live beyond 21 or 23. So I did a lot of crazy stuff, okay, which I can't really share here as well. Just trust me. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it short, okay?
Hey, you're talking to double trouble here,
Oh,
Alwie.
yeah, that's true, right? Yeah, that's true. That's true. So long story short, I was this kid who basically got expelled from high school twice. Okay, got in
What?
trouble with the cops. Yeah, no one would
Wait,
believe me, but
on the
that was the
real,
case.
and maybe on the other reel?
What do you mean?
For
Like,
real, on the real?
yes, for real, bro, for real. So like, yeah. So I came from that, bad boy mixed with the bad crowds, like sneaking out. I was driving by the time I was 12, like 13 years old, pushing my mom's car out the garage. One of those guys. Okay.
Okay.
So, anyways,
Okay.
uh, I grew up in that way, and my outlook in life in those days was not a positive things. Like it was always like, oh man, why couldn't I have this when my friends have it, and all of those kind of stuff. But there was a point in time where my parents hit rock bottom, and that's when that switch inside of me flipped and realized like, oh my gosh, what the heck am I doing? Right?
You gotta
My
straighten
parents are
out.
busting their yeah, my parents are busting themselves just to even send me to school, and like really suffering just to even send me to college. And I was like, oh, I couldn't really do that. So that's when at a young age I started to pick up, get jobs. I was a waiter, bartender, I was a grab driver, I was that guy who was walking in the mall and say, excuse me sir, would you like to join this? And then people reject you 1,000 times. That was me, guys. And if my presentation skill today is good, it's because I got rejected like a million times while
Million
doing that job.
times.
Yes, I did it for WWF, by the way. Like get people to sign up.
What?
Yeah, yes. That was my first official job when I was applying for a real corporate job because I just graduated. That was the job that I could start. Like literally, I came in today. All right, you're hired. Tomorrow you start, because they only pay you when someone actually signs up with you, and that was for WWF, right? So yeah, basically, like I came from a very dark place, went through my parents, and I realized like, there's no. Firstly, there's no point about being negative about anything, right? Because if things happen to you, it happens to you for a reason. And like since then, my outlook in life has always been very positive. Like I realized and learned that these challenges that comes to us may be very difficult during that very moment, but there is a reason for it, and there is something happening that we just can't see yet. Like I always believe, like I can't see it just yet, I'm struggling right now, but I just know that 1 year from today, 2 years, 3 years, maybe even 5 years, I'll look back and say, thank God I went through it. And thank God I went through what I went through. Because if not, I would have never woken up, never be able to have this drive, determination to, make sure my parents don't have to work and all of those kind of things. And that's why you always see me like smiling, positive, outtake, because honestly, I started to see things in a much better light, right? Like I was thinking, oh, there's so many things I don't have. But honestly, I started to look like, man, there's so many things most people don't have that we have. So I started to appreciate things a lot more.
Yeah, we definitely take things for granted, in life.
It's a great perspective.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
usually you're right. There's usually a reward after the hardship or the trial that we go through. We just don't know when we're going to see it or receive it.
Yeah, exactly.
I love all these comments just keep flooding in, man. This is great. Thank you guys for
Thank you guys
tuning
so
in
much.
and dropping the comments. Yeah, keep dropping those comment bombs. Pew.
Manuel said the dark side of Awi.
I know, I saw that. Dun, dun, dun.
What's up, brother?
I am your mentor.
I'm your mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, what's more exciting though is that even though you went through these hardships and these struggles, you came out on top with that sort of positive outlook, and you saw not only how you could help other people, right, but you were determined to do that by being a mentor. So at what point did you decide, okay, so I'm seeing some success now, and I know, and I've received the training, and you can talk about that training and from whom, uh, and another light switched on and said, okay, I want to do my mentorship, and I want to help other people have the success that I'm seeing.
Yeah, definitely it was not at all part of the plan. I did not see it or anything like that. But here's the honest truth. It pissed me off. It pissed me off that I had to go through all of this nonsense and jump through all of these hoops, try this, try that, spend 1,000 here, spend 2,000 here. And then I realized later that, you know what? I'm not the only one. Right. And
Right.
it kind of just pissed me off. Like, why the heck can someone just come up, and just really mean and do what they say and just really help people, right? Because
there are a lot of BSers out there, man.
Yes. Yeah.
Make all sorts of empty promises and take your money and run.
Correct. And I thought, like, why isn't there someone or anyone that is bold enough to just say, listen, I struggled, I failed, it was hard, it was difficult. Why isn't anyone saying this? So that's when I just see to myself, and I thought, you know what? Let me just share my message the way it is, my story, the genuinity of it. And before I knew it, more and more people actually related to that message because it was something that not everyone was coming out of. More people did ask for help. And I figured, you know what? If I could help someone be able to do what I do, and possibly when I started, I didn't think about money at all, not at all. Do the same and make a living out of it. Oh my gosh. I just told myself, like, this could be the best job in the world. Think about it, guys.
Helping people.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're helping people, genuinely helping. At the same time, you're earning. At the same time, they're earning. It's like a win-win situation all year round. You know what I mean?
I mean, if normally people, when they help somebody, no matter how small or big that help is, you get that warm fuzzy, right? That warm fuzzy feeling. You feel so much better, and it's a paradigm sort of shift in your life when you're able to help people in such a big scale as that. But you still are working a 9-to-5 corporate job. You are gone 2 full weeks out of each month traveling, okay? And yet you're still able to balance this as well as coaching for an entirely different program. Isn't that true?
Yeah. Yeah. I know. It seems like it's.
How do you manage all that? How do you juggle it? I mean, that's time management, at its best, brother.
Yeah, it also comes with sacrifices as well, right? Like, I also have a wife. I'm already away from her. And then, on top of that, I'm not home long enough and I'm working on my business at the same time. So I'm very grateful and lucky to have her to understand and support what I do, right? Because otherwise, I don't think I could have done it for this long. But yes, lots of sacrifice along the way, but I'm always thinking about not today, but tomorrow, as in 6 months from now, 1 year, 5 years. What's the thing that we need to be doing today, right? The reason why we're busting ourselves today, hustling, right? Like doing whatever we can because we want that better tomorrow. to come sooner, and that's essentially the drive. So we can really do whatever it is that we wanted to if we felt like that's something really really important. For me, it feels like a mission. So what
Mm-hmm.
happens is when I go
Right.
to work, I try my best to be as productive as possible, get everything done. But honestly, like I start to leave some stuff, right? But when I get back home, it's like a hat switch. All right, game on. Like what's going on and stuff like this, right? So yeah, I just try my best to really manage it. And like what we were talking about before coming on, it's like, you go all out, and some days you just know yourself, right? Like today, I was telling Jeff earlier that, today I'm just mentally exhausted. Like after this interview, I'm just gonna spend some time, watch TV
And
with my wife, and just call it a
put a
day.
fork in me and put a fork in me. I'm done. But you're right. You're
Chill
exactly
out.
right. You have to know your personal, mental, and physical limits, because
Hmm.
sometimes if you overextend your limits, you can become burnt out. And you're no good to anybody burnt out at work, at your 9 to 5, or with your wife, your family, uh,
Hmm.
your dog.
Yeah, right. Even my dog's like most days you'll see she'll come and try to get attention and things like that, right? Yeah.
So we had a question here. There we go. Emmanuel had a question. Alwi, is your goal ultimately to leave your 9 to 5?
Yes, but only not because I hate it or anything like that. I actually enjoy what I do, guys, and that to me has always been the key. Like no matter what you're doing, try to find that joy, that fun factor to it, because at the end of the day, it's hard to do something if you're not passionate about it. So I actually enjoy what I do, but
100%. Yes.
Amen. Amen.
just like you guys, right? Like whenever you guys are on, I can feel the passion, the fire, the desire. That's why this whole double trouble, the energy, right? You can tell when people
It,
enjoy what they do, and people like, I'm
it's
just here to show up and
seriously. If
get a lot
you
of people on
when
live, right?
if you're
Yeah,
gonna
it's
do
got to be
something, do
real.
it 100% full throttle or nothing at all.
Yeah, agreed. So yeah, to Manuel's question, yes, eventually to leave my 9 to 5 for sure. And a lot of people ask me why haven't I done it. Um, I feel like, honestly, guys, the whole idea of starting affiliate marketing is building a secondary source of income. And the whole idea that we're doing this is we're trying to build multiple sources of income. So to me, if I can do this
Mhm.
on the side while have my day job without counting everything else I have, like the property and all that stuff, just like that, I have two sources of income, right? So I might as
That,
well. And
what?
also and
Yeah.
also partly because I've spent the last 14 years in the corporate game, busting my butt, climbing the ladder, and I'm almost there, guys. Like so
Yeah.
close, and it's hard for
I
me
feel
too.
you.
It's like,
I
yeah,
can
right.
totally relate to that. I can totally relate to that, Alwie, because I worked now, I can say 24 years with my current company, right? And I I love it. I love what I do. So I literally don't want to just walk away from it. I want to be able to retire early, however. And my
Yeah,
goal, and this, is retire at the age of 60 instead of 67 or 68. I mean, it's crazy because that's how we're all wired to think, is we're going to work our fingers to the bone, uh, whatever job it is or jobs, our whole lives. We retire when we're 65, 66. That's now. But I guarantee you, by the time I get to that age, that retirement age will be like 67 or 68.
It's crazy. Yeah, but
mm,
I just want to
No,
give props to my twin brother, though, Ollie, to have worked for 24 years as a Walmart greeter is just fantastic. I just cannot believe that he's been a Walmart greeter for 24 years. It's awesome.
not everybody can handle it.
you didn't tell me that, Jeff. You didn't tell me about that.
It's a lot of stress. You can just imagine all the people coming in with their pajamas at all hours of the day.
Thank you for coming in.
Oh man, hilarious, guys.
Yeah, but it's a matter of preparing for that time when you want to retire, and everyone's got to look at that, whether their projection is on point, the projection for retirement, and building secondary, multiple sources of income, multiple streams. It's important so that you can get to that stage earlier than anticipated.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Right.
You threw a curveball at me, Jared. I didn't even see that one coming.
Oh, all right. So Manuel, bunch of smiley faces. And Darren K was tuning in too. I wanted to give a shout out to Darren K as well. Forgot to mention his name.
Yeah, he's tuning in from the UK.
Yeah.
He's a Freedom Accelerator promoter. And so let's get to that point then, Alwi. You decided to create Freedom Circle. Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with the name, or how did you decide on the name, and how did you decide at what point you were going to launch it?
Okay, starting with the name first, I was thinking about a group of people fighting for their freedom. You know what I mean? That's how I saw it. Like if I was gonna do anything, I wanted to find a group of people who were just like me fighting for freedom. And that's where I thought Freedom Circle is a nice name, right? Because it's all about, in this circle is all about people fighting for their freedom. So that's how I came about it. The freedom essentially was inspired by a lot of other people as well, right? Like, Freedom Warrior, like that was one of it. Freedom Breakthrough was also a good one. I was like, I like freedom. So then the circle came into play. But when did I decide to launch it? Honestly, what I was doing before it was a group level, I was just helping people as much as I could. So actually, I got a ton of one-on-one calls, pictures with people who never bought from me, people who could never afford stuff. But I just went on, tried my best to help them, guide them into the right direction. And I did this with a lot of people, like behind the scenes, right? Like a lot of people.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was confident enough to know that I had the ability to train, coach. And at that time, I remember one of my earliest students, one of the first few, was just 17, I think it was 17 or 18 years old at that time. And I told myself, like, if I can teach a 17-year-old, like literally no life experience, never worked a day job before in his life, how to make like consistent high ticket sale within the first
then you
30
could
days.
teach anybody, even a 51-year-old, right?
Yes. I wasn't sure, but you are the proof of concept.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. So Jonathan had this like crazy bonus. I think it was October, I think, where, he was going to give Freedom Accelerator, this amazing program that I already knew because I was spent the last 6 months working with him directly on it. So I knew how amazing it was, right? For people who came in through Freedom Breakthrough. So I thought this might be the perfect opportunity actually to offer it as a bonus, not to sell. The intention was never about like making money or, milking or creating products. I just thought, why not give people something that if they do invest in return, I'll just help them at a group level to try and make their money back. That's it. Because to me it was like all we needed to do at the time was make a high ticket sale and a half, and you've already recovered your investment, right? So that's when I started to kind of announce it. I didn't know if people wanted it, honestly, guys. Like I didn't know. Like I was just hitting it out in the dark. I'll put it out there, and before I knew it, there was way more people that actually wanted it than I ever actually realized. Because the whole time, all I've been doing is I didn't think about what's going on outside. I just focus on myself, the people that I'm helping and things like that. So I didn't realize that was the kind of impact that we were slowly making, which told me that a lot of people were connected with the message of, reality. It's hard, it's not easy, but it's super, super, super worth it, once you're able to get it.
It is. All right, we got Adrian Mays tuning in.
My home girl.
What's up?
What up?
Adrian?
Hey. That's awesome.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, and what a wonderful thing it's been, Howie. I mean, my goodness. So I met you at the end of November. You had just had your first week of this Freedom Circle group when I met you, right? And so when I joined, I was a week behind, but it's been such a pleasure seeing everything come into fruition with this and just blossom, right? And all along, you continue to have such grandiose success, regardless of how busy you've been or how many trips you're making across the world, right? So, would you say that that's a tribute to how hard work, persistence, and things that are set in automation will pay off?
100%, because I think I've used this example before, but the way to look at it is like compounding interest, right? When you first start, there's no interest for you to claim, but month after month it snowballs, it snowballs, it snowballs. Like a lot of people think that this making consistent high ticket sales happen right away when you first start, or maybe even your first 10 days, 14 days, 30 days. It is 100% possible, because Jeff did it in 10, 2 high tickets. I did it
Right.
in my first 11, and then day 13. It's possible, but I always like to tell people the harder part of it instead of the easy part. But the truth is, when you are implementing and building all the necessary foundation, this is where your head is down, right? People are probably like, this guy can't make it sell, can't make it sell, can't make it. But actually, we're building the foundation brick by brick by brick by brick. And by the time that we are fully ready to launch this thing up, that's where that whole 17,000 came out of nowhere. Before that, I was just posting $1,000 this month, so grateful I earned 1,000. Oh, here's another 500. I'm so happy and grateful, and then boom, 17K. Everyone's like, what the heck happened, right?
What
So
the
that's
heck?
the perfect.
It's like,
Yeah, that's
hold. They're like, hold on.
Wow.
The elevator was broken. He was climbing up each level step by step. What
yes,
happened?
So the
yeah,
floodgates just burst open.
yeah. Because I knew exactly what I was doing, and I accepted the fact that it wasn't going to be fast, even though
Mhm.
I knew the fastest method, right? But to me, it's not about what happens today. It's like the tomorrow, the steps ahead, right? 6 months, a year, 5 years from now. So I said, okay, kept my head down, and then at that time I was still in the Wealth Warriors, and I was doing consistent sales, suddenly silent, just one sales. They must have been thinking, what happened to this guy, right? But actually, nobody knew, but I was actually building it quietly. And when I knew I was ready and have all of these things in place, it's just a conversion process and system that you guys now know, as well as experience, will continue to work alongside you as you continue this
Mhm.
journey, right? Mm,
Right. So
excuse me.
you would say you were getting these mechanisms in operation, and suddenly everything was running like a fine-tuned engine. This conversion engine was running beautifully.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Nina Jensen, again, our friend in Utah, she says she's never done sales before. So how hard is it really?
First sales, it really depends on the individual. Um, it's probably it's probably going to be very hard for the first time, because you don't have any kind of benchmark or proof of concept. So it might be hard, but you'll realize that once you go through these hurdles, the same way making a first dollar is hard, the next $10 is hard, the next 100 is hard, the next 1,000 is hard, and you realize that when you look back after you achieve some of those milestones, you realize, oh my gosh, that was so much more simpler than I thought, right? So yeah, that's the short answer to it. The key here is just to keep doing whatever it takes to make that first one, because once you make that first, whether it's $1, whether it's 10, whether it's a
Right.
hundred, essentially the effort is more or less the same, honestly,
Mhm.
right? That's why I switched from low ticket to high ticket,
High
because I
ticket.
found that
Right.
no
It's the same
difference at
effort.
all. It was
High
Wow.
exactly
ticket.
the same. So I
That's
might as
inc
well focus on high ticket than the low ticket, because we are essentially in the space where we're willing to help people as well. So might as well do it
Mhm.
with a high ticket.
That's incredibly well said.
She says she's only
Gotcha.
done customer service
And-
and rock at it. Well, there
Yeah.
you go.
She would do well then.
Well, in affiliate marketing, right? In affiliate marketing, you do have to have good public relation customer service skills, and that's something you learn as you go along. I mean, I didn't have any sales experience whatsoever when I came into affiliate marketing when I started in September 2022.
Right.
There is a learning curve, and that's where we're going to be 100% honest with people. But once you learn the things that you have learned, and it's laid out for you in a program, a course, and if you have a mentor, just as Jared and I do here with Aoi, it's a mapped out course, and what Aoi does is he wants to make a plan for you based on your weaknesses, your strengths, right, and your experiences, and so that makes it easier.
Because I realized that not one size fit all, right, type of approach, because I just couldn't find something that would fit me, right? Whenever they're describing how it's done, this is that, I was like, I don't know, it just doesn't suits me at all. And that's when I realized that, you know what, I'm just going to drop all of that stuff and start with my strengths, right? Identify my weaknesses and work on it. Like shooting videos was actually one of my biggest weakness, guys. Even though today it feels like I can just pick up a phone, it's only because I've done it over and over again. It's so easy. Yeah. The first time I shot a TikTok, the first time I shot a TikTok video, I remember like my wife was just at the corner of the room. She's like, "What the heck are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, please, could you just please go in the room?" Because I really couldn't shoot when she was around the corner, right? Today she's like, you know, it's like, "Okay, what's up, everybody?" Blah, blah, blah. Okay, put it down, right? Back then I couldn't.
I can relate to that because my wife and daughter sometimes will go a Zoom call 2 or 3 nights ago, and I do the Zoom call on my desktop computer upstairs. And when that's happening, they don't want to disturb, and then sometimes they're embarrassed to hear what's going on, so they'll go into an entirely different room and close the door. And the other night, I finished my Zoom call, and I couldn't find them, so I opened up my master bedroom, and they were both hiding in my bedroom. Not exactly hiding, like under the bed or in the closet.
Like they're afraid.
Yeah. I think Manuel had a question earlier. If you guys see that, do you guys see that one?
Yes.
He
So,
asked,
Ollie, do you see yourself creating a full course of your own, like Freedom Breakthrough, or
Accelerator in the future?
Well, if there will be a course, it's essentially what we're doing right now, right? Because this life coaching is there's a few reasons. One, it was a test of proof of concept because I had to reorganize, rearrange, right? As we're doing it right now, week 12, I think, week 13 we are in, it's giving me a lot of like ideas on how to make it easier. If anyone is struggling anywhere, what are the pieces that I could make it as easy as possible for anyone. So actually that's always been the intention. But first is to, cement the proof of concept, and then hopefully down the line. But as of right now, only 2 main things that I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on Freedom Circle, helping you guys get the results as best as possible. And Wealth Warriors, essentially, because I'm part of that team as well. And it's important to me because I get to impact a much wider reach of people. So we get to help people at a much deeper level.
Yeah, they're kind of like cousins to us.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can see him at the family reunion.
Someone said, "What? She talks too much?" What was it? I talk too much is my weakness.
Yeah, Nina's awesome.
Yeah, that's what Nina said. Oh, yeah. I always love it when Nina, she used to attend like most all of our live broadcasts before Aoi and kidney donor advocacy, and I love it because she floods the comment section and she's very supportive. We love you, Nina.
Very active in the comments.
We love you.
All right.
But I mean, so the concept for this this Freedom Circle Mentorship Boot Camp Is the whole concept, is this what you learned from the training that you received from Jonathan Montoya?
I would say it's a combination of what I learned from Wealth Warriors, as well as what I learned from Jonathan Montoya, with my own spin in it,
Right.
right? You know what I mean? Like I looked at it, I
Okay.
was like, okay, this is good, but I think,
Sprinkle a little
X,
bit of
Y, and
this.
Z. Exactly. Yeah. So I like that's what I do for a living anyways. I'm looking at all of these ideas, all of these strategies, and I'm just trying to formulate and say either how can we do it better, or what kind of spin or flair we could do to it to kind of either 10x it, or it's very rare to take something on its own unless I know that that's the best way to do it. There's no other better way to do it. Then I will take it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so you can say influence on both sides, definitely. Yeah, gave me a lot of ideas, and I think
Right.
part of the reason is also all the years of trying this business, that business, tried paid ads, tried YouTube ads, tried all this. Everything just came together, right? So that's why he told me that even though I struggled for 6 years, it prepared me for this very moment to succeed.
Wow.
Because
I
all of
love
these
the way you
things
looked at
happened.
that. I looked
Yeah.
at it from that angle because you looked
Preparation.
at it from the angle of, hey, look, I could be, yeah, you could have been bitter, you could have been hardened, but you chose to be positive and you chose to just
Learn from
learn
it.
from these experiences,
Hmm.
Correct. Yeah. That's the
and
thing
that's
that
paid
I
off.
was saying earlier. Yeah. That's the thing that I was saying earlier, that when you're struggling, you're going through some hard times, right? Once you get through it, it's going to help you. It's just that you don't know when.
Right.
Like,
You
is
got to
it
be
tomorrow?
patient.
Is it next week? Is it a year? Is it 2 years from now? In my case, it's like many years later. And I was like, thank God I went through all that, because if not, you won't be ready for it. Thanks for tuning in,
Oh, that's
Manuel. He's
true.
got
I
to
mean,
head
Yeah.
back to
because
work.
Have a good day, Manuel.
yeah, awesome. I would totally agree with that because I would say that the experience that I received from 6.5 years prior in on social media, especially on Facebook, and do these live broadcasts from before, it kind of prepared me for what I'm doing now on social media and this sort of aspect. Jared and I have never been shy either, per se. I mean, I could walk into a grocery store and come out having 5 new friends. It's kind of in
Literally. Yeah.
our genes.
Yeah. We're likable people.
And I'm saying that from no matter what country I've lived in. And I've lived in a lot of countries.
I say that from living in the country. Yeah, I've got chickens.
In the
He
country.
does.
Got
I
it.
He,
Got
he
do.
it.
lives
Yeah.
he lives out in the country, out not far from the Great Salt Lake in the boondocks. Okay, and he's got chickens. He used to have a horse. Do you still have that
Yeah.
horse,
No, we sold the horse. And
or did you
we used
sell it,
to,
and turn it blue?
no, we used to also have a bison. People commonly call them buffalo, but they're really bison. But anyway, so yeah, so the idea is to kind of replicate this, and because we did a live broadcast, nearly, I did it every week, he did it every week, we did it together, we did it separately, and we were so used to doing it that, much like what you said, Ollie, is that it's like second nature. You know what I mean? I've done it so many times that I don't get nervous, and
Yeah.
I don't have butterflies anymore, and I can just talk, and and if something bad or some, because technology happens, if something in the broadcast happens, you just kind of improvise, and but it's fun, and we we make it a little bit lighthearted, not that it's our topic is lighthearted, but you got to be real, and you've got to have some entertainment, and in connection with what you're doing. But
A little bit of
it's
levity.
been, yeah, a little bit, and but it's been absolutely a pleasure hearing from you. A lot of different things I'm probably going to cut up and make into like TikTok clips and Instagram reels and YouTube shorts, because some of these clips are really going to be good for others to hear, especially in the shorts and reels. But golden nuggets.
Awesome. Glad to hear it, guys. I mean,
yeah, this is
super
batchable.
awesome
This
to
is
hear.
batchable, right? Anyway, Aoi, I appreciate you beyond measure, and thank you so much for giving us this honor, being our guest,
Super
right?
grateful.
Giving us
Super
this
grateful.
precious time, right?
Super honored to be here,
And,
guys. Like, you guys are gonna crush it. I know
There we go.
this show is amazing, like super entertaining. Like, I mean, guys, if you're watching and you guys are entertained by these two duos, the double trouble, number 1 and 2, drop a 1, guys.
Yes, thank
If you
you.
agree with me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and okay,
Awesome.
so
Thank
we
you guys
said
so
this
much.
last night in an interview. Well, Jared addressed this last night. I'll address it again. If you're watching this either live or on the replay, hashtag both that. But if you'd like to be interviewed, whether you're an affiliate, right, or you're connected to an online business, just let us know. Reach out to us either in our Facebook group or to either one of us personally.
Drop a word.
Drop a
All right. And thank you so much, Jacques. Thank you very much for tuning in from South Africa and Cape
South
Town.
Africa.
Love
Yeah.
you, brother. Yeah, the
He's a
second
great
guy
guy,
that
great
I
guy. He's a good dude.
interviewed as a guest. Yeah. All right. Anyway,
Love it. I love
the
it.
energy in this show, man. Nina,
He
that's
did
what I'm
drop a
talking
word.
about. Hey,
He did drop a word.
electric. This.
One more time.
Hilarious.
Awesome, guys. Thank you guys so much for having
Yeah,
me.
she says
Moving
bye and
forward-
have a good night and good day. Yeah,
Our pleasure.
and tell
Sincere
your
pleasure.
wife thank you for giving us this. Tell your wife thank you for giving us this time, because I know this is usually time you spend with her after work. All right.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Most
Hey,
welcome, guys.
God bless you, brother.
Okay.
Likewise. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Yeah. We'll see you later. We're gonna wrap this up without you, Ali. Thanks, brother.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Talk to you soon.
Jared.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Was that
Wow.
truly electrifying?
Amazing. Yeah. So many things that I'm going to keep as a recording. A lot of good things that he said that are truly inspiring. And what a great story.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna rewatch this and take notes, right?
Yeah,
You gotta take
absolutely.
notes, folks.
Yeah.
Take some notes. You gotta learn from these
Very
things.
noteworthy.
Man. This is
Very noteworthy. But please, if you're just as inspired as I am, as we are, drop a comment and let us know what inspired you. If there's a sentence or something that he may have said that you want to put down in the comment section that was influential, please do it. Drop a comment and let us know what you found inspiring. Because I know not only his story was inspiring, but his positive outlook, his talk about wanting to help people is also something that's genuine,
Right.
and you could tell that it's
amazing.
it's
Most people
sincere.
when they get to that pinnacle, of success, all they would think about is just earning more and more money and gaining
Sure.
more and more
Right.
success.
Power,
But I
greed.
always thought about how he could help people attain the same sort of success as he did. That's so impressive.
Very impressive.
And wow. Okay. Hey, thanks for getting up early.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Although, I mean, you had to get up probably at 5 a.m. for this, Jared. So thanks for getting up early for this.
Yeah, let's give a special shout out to, I know he's not listening, but to Manuel, Sidharth, Darren K. Trying to think of course, the lovely Nina, from Utah County, and anybody else who
Right,
tuned in who maybe didn't comment. Oh, and Jacques, of course. If I'm forgetting anybody, let me know, Jeff.
Oh,
Taz
someone else
Barul.
in our
Taz Barul. Yeah, Taz
right.
Barul.
No. Yes, our Pakistani friend Taz Barul, Hassan Ratul. Thank you very much for tuning in and your support. And there's someone else I'm trying to find that tuned in. There, hold on.
Oh, somebody from Facebook. That's why I'm not seeing it. Like a Brian James or something.
Okay. Yes, Brian James.
Yeah, thanks for
All right.
tuning in, Brian.
Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, and
Yes.
dropping your
Thank you.
Right. Appreciate every one of you. Hey, we're going to be doing another one next week. Please be sure to watch out for the announcement. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, again, reach out to us personally.
Yes. All right.
Thanks for your support.
Thank you.
God bless.
Peace.
Peace out.
Boom. Peace out, Boy Scout. People still say that. What happened?
Yeah, we're out of here.